Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Stubblefield, and we're going to talk about C.M.Es and how they affect the Earth. I've got a couple of great videos. I've got some information from suspicious observers. What a great job he does on YouTube. You guys have to check out his YouTube channel, Suspicious Observers. He puts out a great news every morning, about 4 or 5 minutes. But it's some of the great planetary news that we really lack in today's society. But he seems to cover it very well. So my hat's off to him. Also, YouTube be Heaven Bound put up a video on the Discovery Channel, and that's the video I've downloaded, and I want to play it back for you and give you guys a real good idea on what the planetary, or rather how the Earth aligns with the Sun and takes a C.M.E. and which states would be hit first. Of course, the upper atmosphere states would be hit first, you know, New York, Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, Montana, Oregon, right across the board. Those states would be the first states to be hit by a large C.M.E. burst and cause their electrical grids to fall first. Okay, and then it would go down the Earth, or vice versa, depending on how the solar storm actually hit and impacted. And it also depends on whether or not the magnetosphere is doing a Swiss cheese dance that day, and it comes through because, well, we all know why, and how the HAARP and been playing with the ionosphere and causing the Swiss cheese to happen. Everybody knows what I mean. Swiss cheese, I mean the holes in the magnetosphere that would allow solar radiation to penetrate through. Okay, so anyway, take back, enjoy yourself, enjoy the show, enjoy the video, and know that God is in control of all these end time events. Okay, He loves you, I love you. Pray hard, pray harder. God bless you. God bless you all. Enjoy the show. Coming up is a YouTube video from Suspicious Observer, and he's showing us how a C.M.E. is going to hit Earth today, March 16th, okay, 2013. Stay tuned.
Well, folks, if the title didn't give this away, let me say that this nice-looking filament movement from last night was only the beginning. First, you should all know we had medium-sized CMEs set to strike Earth. They are doing so now, a few hours late, but with somewhat more speed than expected. Magnetic disturbance is beginning. The waning inductions from yesterday appear set to return as well. We'll keep watch for auroras and geomagnetic storms, but we have way more. This might be difficult for you to see. It is Earth eclipsing the SDO satellite during the middle of a long-duration event. A filament destabilized between the turning active regions and unleashed a massive C.M.E. And when a filament's hide or flare registers in the M range, the filament explosion should probably be compared to the C.M.E. of an X-class solar flare. There is no good SDO imagery of this, so we go to the GOES SXI. What you should note is that usually solar flares expel particles in a C.M.E., but filament eruptions like this lift off first, and the magnetic reconnection snapping together cause the flaring radiation. Usually filament tsunamis produce a C flare at most. SOHO LASCO data shows the plasma going in all directions. This is a halo eruption and indicates that Earth is directly in the line of fire. Putting the stereo core 2 images with Earth in the center confirms that this will strike our planet. The endless spirals are not updated, so check the comments throughout the day for updates on potential severity of impact. Lastly, folks, with our planet just starting to take this interplanetary shockwave, and the gong doesn't show much chance of the coronal hole being geo-effective, but the field lines suggest it is possible, and the SDO here suggests that it is growing after the blast. Seismic watch must be set, along with alerts for auroras starting when the sun goes down. Chances for a geomagnetic storm, Erkamp zone. Eyes open, no fear, it's 6:15 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone. Top story. Coronal Mass Ejection, on its way to Earth. The Earth's perfectly timed eclipse of the satellite blocked only the moment of filament release. You should be able to see bright arcs where none were before. Now, this is definitely coming at Earth, but I need to explain some key points here. Most of you think of traditional solar flares and CMEs as coming from sunspots, like this here, a flash of X-ray energy followed by a coronal explosion of particles. Cause and effect. However, filament eruptions like the one we saw yesterday do the opposite. A large mass of plasma destabilizes and releases outward into space, which then causes a Hyder flare, where the electromagnetic connections arc between the edges of the solar tsunami. These are post-explosion flares. Coming back to this one, good news and bad news. The good news is that this was a very wide blast and therefore much less dense and transferring less energy than a narrower eruption like this, which is in my top 5 CMEs ever list. Definitely different when we have these wide blasts. Now the bad news comes from the Enlil spirals. NASA shows direct hit. The best way to notice is watch the far right panel, yellow is Earth. In the perspective from a midnight position, you're looking for a splash. NASA's arrival prediction time is only hours from now. That is one speedy CME. NOAA confirms both the impact to Earth and the speed. On the right, you'll see the spike at the end of the day today, up to 800 kilometers per second. Color code actually suggests it could be a bit faster. One-day arrival CMEs have a chance to be significant for satellites and maybe even electrical systems. The solar wind metrics are showing yesterday's minor CME impact is waning. We had no geomagnetic storms. Sunspots, although they appear unable to flare with power, they are still able to move plasma fairly well, including a departing southern region. Up north, a filament set between those sunspots is destabilizing and probably won't be there tomorrow. The CME just popped out of the southern region as well. We're not done yet. Energetic flux at planet Earth is about 10 times what it was during the CME impact yesterday. We are nearly at a polar radiation storm. To top all this off, the umbral field never opened yesterday, but this is what I was afraid of. It's opening now and must be watched as it turns to face the Earth. Also might want to watch the radiation levels near the poles and this CME, which everyone expects to hit before we speak again tomorrow.
And be in prayer. Pray harder. Pray hard. Pray hard. Pray hard. Have fun. Thank you.
As the Earth rotates over 24 hours, the planet responds to the extraordinary power of the Sun. Each day, 170 million gigawatts, over 7,000 times the power that humanity consumes, rains down on the surface, triggering a wave of activity that never ceases. At dawn, plants and plankton begin to photosynthesize, using the light to make sugars and starches, the basis of the food chain. The power source for almost all living things. Sunlight drives wind and weather around the globe. When the air cools at night, it triggers much of the Earth's rainfall. We are part of this circadian pattern too, built to respond to the daily influx of energy from above. The cells in our bodies need sunlight to create vitamins in our skin. Even the flight paths of planes reveal our intimate relationship with the sun. Aircraft travel westwards in the morning to extend the day, and eastwards in the evening to reduce the night. But ironically, the biggest threat to this finely balanced arrangement is from the same thing that allows it to exist in the first place. The energy given off by the sun. The SDO satellite records the ultraviolet radiation released by our star. Charged particles, fractions of atoms, protons, electrons, and neutrons are constantly thrown out, along with massive pulses of electromagnetic radiation. But occasionally, the sun throws out what's known as a coronal mass ejection. This supercomputer visualization shows a cloud of plasma millions of kilometers wide, racing towards the Earth. If these solar particles were free to hit the Earth's surface, they would do serious damage to any living thing, producing fatal mutations in their DNA. Fortunately, the Earth has a defense. An invisible force field called the magnetosphere surrounds our planet, visualized here in unprecedented detail. These images are generated by data from 5 magnetically tuned satellites. Called Themis, the network of spacecraft reveals the force field as it is constantly bombarded by the sun. The shape of the field is produced by the sheer force of the radiation hitting it. A nebulous teardrop 200,000 miles in diameter. As wave upon wave of solar particles strike the magnetosphere, most are deflected. But when a coronal mass ejection arrives, the charged particles peel open the magnetic field's outer layer. The particles are now free to rush in towards the planet. The Earth's inner magnetic field steers the radiation towards the poles, triggering one of nature's most remarkable sights. The northern and the southern lights. Here, we can see the Earth's second layer of defense. Giant ribbons of plasma stream downwards, encircling both the north and south poles. As they strike the upper atmosphere at extreme speed, they excite the molecules of air. The process makes the air molecules glow. The oxygen radiates red and green, the nitrogen blue. Energy that would otherwise mutate all life on Earth is dissipated by the upper atmosphere. In this way, the Earth has shielded itself from the sun's deadly radiation for millions of years.
Afraid. You don't have to be afraid of anything. God created the heavens and the earth. And he did it on the 4th day. And in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, it starts here. And this is the 4th day. And God said, Let there be light in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be a sign for the seasons and for the days and years. And let them be the light for in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. 1:17. And God set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day, and rule over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Genesis 1:19. So it's Genesis 1:14 through 19, the fourth day. God created the heaven and the earth, the solar system, all the stars and everything. We don't have to worry for why things happen, because all that we've shown you here today in summary shows you all how intricate detail of how God has made the earth and the planetary systems, and how everything connects to everything else. Isn't God great? Is there any doubt who our Creator is? There should be none. None in my book. God bless you, and have a great night, great day. If you have any questions, please contact me, teamjesuswins.com, Incorporated. Come to my website. There's an email address there. Email me or post a message here. Alright? Blessings. Pray hard. Pray harder. God bless you, America. Wake up. See ya. Have fun.